All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are once again. Episode 4, Wheel of Bossing. Episode 3 entailed the Leviathan. Originally, it was going to be just the 75 kills or the lure. We didn't get lure. We did get more than 75. I pushed it up to 100 just to challenge myself a little bit more. I felt a little bit comfortable. Although we still had 22 deaths overall, which isn't ideal. Um, and I mean, the supply cost was around 5 mils, give or take, potentially. Um, it wasn't great, but we did get the smoke quartz, which was nice. We got the tablet, so in the future, if we land on Leviathan, we are able to get to Leviathan easier. And we did get 2 orbs. Now, episode 2 was Scorpia, episode 1 Vorkath. Those are past. Let's move on. Before we do, again, I apologize for doing this every time, but I do want to thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I mean, the last few videos have gotten 40 plus views, and I mean, I'm not really here to push numbers. I'm not here to gravitate towards numbers, but it does motivate me to upload these videos to see that people are interested. Um, it just gives me another incentive on pushing this content to you guys, not only for my own gain on the bossing killing, but for you guys to have something to watch. Now, if you do guys have any suggestions, I feel free to drop it in the comments. Maybe there's ways I can tweak the challenge portion of the wheel. Maybe you guys have an idea that I can do. But regardless, let's get into it. Episode 4, Wheel of Bossing. Let's pull this wheel up. And here it is. We had Leviathan, Vorkath, right next to each other. We almost had Vorkath twice. That would have been interesting. And we had Scorpia, which now looking at it, they're all three of them are right next to each other. So let's see if the wheel is gonna give us something like on this side of the wheel, but who knows? Let's spin this wheel. Episode 4, Wheel of Bossing. What is our boss going to be? Spin that wheel. And the moment of truth is upon us, and we are fighting the deranged archaeologist. Interesting, interesting. All right. So let's see. I don't really know what he even has. Is that I don't know. Is that the wilderness? Um, is he wilderness? Steel ring? Is his unique? Okay. Doesn't seem like he really has anything crazy like unique wise. So what we might do. Sorry for the yawn. I've been up since 2 in the morning. Um, what I think we will do here is pull up the KC wheel that we have because there's not really anything specific unique wise in this one. So I think we will pull up the KC wheel, which should be this one. Yeah. And then what I want to do, because I want to add one. Honestly, what I'll do here is I'm going to just throw in a bunch of numbers. Right? I don't think we'll go 400. Let's go 200s, more 50s, 100. I feel like this boss should be really easy. So I'm not too worried if I get one of these high number ones. I feel like it should go pretty quick. That seems good. Maybe one more. All right. So here we go. We had deranged archaeologist. Deranged archaeologist should be pretty easy. Deranged archaeologist. Let's just throw up the or get the little thing over here. Anyways, let's spin this wheel. So now this will be our challenge wheel for bosses that are more um KC focused. So we got a bunch of numbers in here. We got 175, 150s, 200s, 50s, etc. I think the highest we have on here is 300 here. So we'll shuffle this a lot. And we will spin the wheel. Our challenge is 50 KC. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think that we should push it up higher. I feel like this is gonna be a really easy um, boss to kill. I feel like this isn't gonna be hard. So what I'm gonna do is instead of 50, I'm gonna push it to this 150 here. Oh, I didn't mean to spin it again, but I'm gonna push it to the 150. I think I thought it was gonna land on 150 there. I think I'm gonna push it to 150, just because I do feel confident that this is gonna go well. Especially if we are looking at the strategy page here. And I mean, I have the full max mage gear for him. So there's the special attack that I will have to be careful of. But other than that, I mean, it seems like the magic is going to be the strongest against him. He's a demi boss, so he's not really going to be something that's too difficult to fight. Um, I don't even know. Does he appear on our list here? Oh wait. Yeah, I was looking at Mr. No Sleep earlier. All right. Deranged archaeologist. Where would he even be on here? That's chaos. I don't even know if he lands on here. I'm so bad at looking through this little listing here because there's just so many different icons. Oh, here he is. Okay, so I only have 25 KC in him. I want to say the main reason that I have any KC is for one of the bingo events. So, I mean, throwing out another 150, that's just going to make the boss in log look nicer. So, I think we're going to throw it to 150. Challenge is going to be 150 of deranged archaeologists. I think that we can easily do this. It shouldn't take too long. So I'm hoping to have this video done by the end of this weekend, and then we would move on. But with that being said, I will show you some gameplay. Um, I guess I guess while I'm here, instead of showing you the gameplay just yet, I could just show you the gear that I'm gonna be rocking. I got the full ancestral with the confliction gauntlets, treads, shadow, um, Rada's blessing, and we're gonna rock the gear like this. So it should be pretty simple. We don't. I don't think we really need too much inventory wise. Probably some prayer potions, anti-poison, and then the dig site pendant we have in our house. So we'll just take our max cape here. And then seems like high elk is suggested. So we'll just slide these down just for the saturated heart there. Holy wrench is one of the things that makes sense for the prayer potions. It looks like we need an axe and sure I could use that and a rake. I don't know for sure if I need these, but that's just what it's saying for recommended inventory. So we will just bring that stuff just in case. And then we'll switch this over to the high elk one. And just for the precautionary, we'll throw in a few food. I don't really know if this is going to be giving me any profit. I don't think he really drops that much of gear. Looks like the average kill, it says about 18k on the wiki. So we will see what we end up getting. The steel ring is actually 300k, so that would be pretty nice if we land on something like that. Uh, since we're doing 150, we have a chance to land on 3 steel rings. So that will at least get us 900k. Now, what I'm going to do here is to confirm that we have like the correct amount of supplies. I'm going to reset the supply tracker, and then yeah, we'll get into the 150 kills of the deranged archaeologist, and I will see you guys with some gameplay later in, as well as showing you guys at the end the final total. I appreciate you guys once again. I'll see you guys in the next part. So I just finished a little trip of killing the deranged archaeologist. It's been going pretty well for the most part. We have actually had quite a bit of luck when it comes to drops, with the biggest ones being the steel rings so far. We're at 118 kills out of the 150. Maybe if we're feeling up to it, we'll go up to 200 just for the hell of it. But in terms of profit, besides like the supply cost, which has been around the 176 because of the initial shadow use, but then also I did eventually switch over to the eye pretty quickly, just because of the shadow kind of costing quite a bit for the price. But um, with the demon tiers, I probably have used maybe 1,500 or 1,400 at most. So if you add those, that's around give or take 600k. I wish that demon tiers was tracked on this. It's unfortunately not. But even with that, we're at 2.8 mil. So we're doing really well for what it's worth in terms of total profit. But basically, if you guys have never fought this boss, it's very simple. It's really just you have to move once in a while, otherwise you're fine. Any mage gear will work. Your main priority is just dodging the book attack that he does, and then just keeping protect from range on. It's really simple. The best way to get there is by going through your dig site pendant, and then going to Fossa Island here. And from there, you're going to use this magic mushroom tree thing or whatever, which allows you to teleport to Mushroom Meadows. You'll take the route south, heading down this path. You're going to be basically heading into this like tar swamp area. And I think the first time that you actually enter this area, you do have to like completely go through it in order to actually use this jump, a rubber cap thing. But if you don't, then you'll basically just take this, and it will launch you to basically right by the boss. So it'll launch you into this area. Now I don't think you can activate this mushroom, unfortunately. That would be pretty sick if you could. You might be able to, actually. I might be wasting my time. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I could have just been using that the whole time. Anyways, you can you can do that. Otherwise, you can use your magic mushroom tree, and then you're just gonna take this pathway here. You'll need an axe for this, and you'll just enter through here. If you do get poisoned by this, you do need an anti-poison. Otherwise, if you don't get hit, you're good. Like sometimes it does swing, sometimes it doesn't. And then here we are at the Deranged Archaeologist. Just super simple boss. I have these two tiles marked mainly so that I can kind of dodge that specific attack. It's very similar to the Crazy Archaeologist in the Wilderness with his book attack. So anytime that he says learn to read, that's when you want to move. Otherwise, you can stay exactly where you are and you will be completely fine. It's super simple. You just gotta dodge that book attack and you're good. And yeah, you get sometimes you get some pretty decent drops, like the Onyx Bolt tips that I've gotten, that's already equaling up to 500k. I just put my quick prayer on for protect from missiles, and it's been fine. Uh, if I were to take the steel rings out, which is 1.4 mil with the four of them, which I don't know why they're so expensive. Maybe there's the bonuses with it. Uh, Even with that, I still would be making quite a bit of profit. Um, yeah, he's really easy. That's why I did bump it up from 50. Uh, I think in the future I will just make a wheel specifically for him. Maybe um, just make a wheel for Steel Ring and do that as my way of tracking it. Because I didn't get the first Steel Ring until 91 KC, so it would take a little bit. But typically the Steel Ring is a 1 in 43. So for a little bit, I was vastly under the drop limit, but now I would definitely say I'm above the drops. So we're in a good spot. But anyways, I will continue doing these kills. And once we are done or satisfied with the amount, I will be back and I will show you the final total of what I got from the Deranged Archaeologist. See you then. All right, we are done. What I will say is I did get a little carried away with these kills. I ended up killing 250 of the Deranged Archaeologist, even though the initial was, I'm pretty sure, 50 kills. It's been a week. I've been super busy with work, but we ended up killing 250 of them. I just kind of got sucked into killing them and whatnot. Um, Big thing to note is I ended up getting 7 steel rings in the process of the 250 kills, which the rarity, if looking at the loot lookup, it's 1 in 43, so we're slightly above the KC average, I would say, in terms of that. Otherwise, we got 3 long bones, which those are 1 in 65, so it kind of adds up. And just some other miscellaneous things. But I ended up taking track of when I got those steel rings just to be able to like kind of have an idea on like when the split was. So for a really long time in the kills, I actually wasn't getting any steel rings. It ended up being at kills 91 that I got my first steel ring, and then I got it at 104, 110, and 116. So I got back to back to back rings pretty close to each other, which I thought was pretty crazy. And then I got it at 154 and 157, and then the final one I got at 232. So For a little bit, it was back to back to back, but then it kind of did have a kind of a dry period for a little bit, but otherwise, it wasn't too bad. It's super easy to kill, and I would recommend it for someone that is like really first starting it to get into bossing. I would say it's like an easy tier boss because you only have to pray range, and that's about it. Otherwise, yeah, you just pray range, you move whenever it says to learn to read, and you're good to go. So, with that being said, I am gonna end this episode with the deranged archaeologist being complete. We went above and beyond, but it is okay. At the end of the day, this is to increase our kills in bossing, and if that means I end up doing more, then we do more. But thanks again for you guys watching. I apologize for the delay. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more consistent. It really depends on how busy work gets now that I'm back. But we will see what episode 5 will pertain. Um, yeah, that'll be episode 5 because that was episode 4. We'll see what episode 5 pertains. I'm really curious to see what boss we'll get, and I'm kind of excited. But otherwise, I hope you have a great night or day, depending on when you guys are watching this, and have a good rest of your week.